Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss the topic from Unit 3, Echinodermata 3.2, the external features in Asterias. The Asterias, it is commonly called as starfish or sea star. The name starfish is somewhat misleading. Why? Because it is star-like and fish, but it lacks in both the characteristics. However, it is appropriate to call it as a sea star as it is a star-like in shape and occurs in sea. The genus Asterias includes near about 150 species. These Asterias, there are about 1,000 species of sea stars of the genus Asterias. It includes near about 150 species. They have different geographical distribution. The Asterias rubens occurs from the English and North European coast. Then the Asterias vulgaris on the eastern shore from the Maine of the Gulf of the Mexico and Asterias tenera occurs on the seashore from North Scotia to New Jersey. Then what is the habit and habitat of this Asterias? This Asterias is a free-living marine echinoderm crawling slowly in shallow water to very great depths. It prefers rocky areas where the locomotion and concealment are easier, where they can conceal themselves from the enemies. However, the species that live more or less buried necessarily occur on the sandy bottom. The bottom living animals are called as benthoic, and the most species or asterias are generally solitary, but many individuals gather at some place for protection from direct rays of sun and from excessive drying. Most of them are nocturnal and remain quiet in daytime, and they become active during the night hours. It creeps slowly along the bottom. In spite of having hard integument, it can bend and twist in variety of ways. These asterias are carnivorous and feed voraciously or greedily, and they exhibit the remarkable power of autotomy or regeneration. That means they have ability to regenerate their lost body parts or lost arms. Then the external morphology of these sea star or asterias. The shape, size, and coloration. The body of these asterias is flattened in oral axis and it is generally pentamerous in arrangement. If you observe the body of these, the arrangement is the pentamerous. This is the pentamerous ring-like structure and these are the five arms. Then the body consists of central pentagonal disc from which radiate out the five elongated tapering symmetrical spaced rays or arms. So in diagram you can observe this is the pentagonal ring from where the each arm arises. There are the five arms which are arising from this pentagonal ring, and therefore this shows the pentamerous symmetry. Then the arms may be sometimes 6, 7 or 8, and these specimens are very rare, and these may be probably due to regeneration after injury. The body has two distinct surfaces, means the body of this asterias is having the two surfaces where the mouth is there, that is a lower portion that is called as a oral, and the another portion that is called as a aboral. You can observe the two parts. This is the aboral, where the aboral, and another one is what, that is a oral surface. Actually, where this is the mouth, this surface is the what? The oral surface. And where this is a madreporide, or this is the upper surface, that is called as a, or opposite to the oral, that is called as a aboral. This mouth is at the lower side and this is at the upper side. This oral surface where the mouth is there, and opposite to this, that is portion is called as a aboral wall. Then the oral surface is flat and directed downwards, having a centrally placed mouth. The aboral surface is convex, directed upwards and much darker in color. The oral and aboral surfaces are not ventral and dorsal, but it corresponds to the left and right sides of the bilaterally symmetrical larva. The axis occupied by the arms are called as radii, and the regions of the central disc between the arms are called as a interradii. Means in the body it having the radii and the interradii. The well-defined head is entirely absent. The size varies from 10 to 20 centimeter in diameter, and the smallest starfish known is about 1 centimeter in diameter, and largest that is a starfish, it is near about 80 inches, and they are usually brightly colored yellow, brown or orange and purple, and this coloration in these asterias, it is due to the carotenoid pigments. So that is regarding their coloration, size, shape and size. The next one is what? The oral surface or actinal surface. Which is the oral surface? Where the lower body part or the lower flat surface of the body which bears the mouth, and that is usually applied to the substratum, and that is called as a oral surface, or it is called as a actinal surface. Then on this oral surface, the first part is present, that is what? The mouth. On the under surface, in the center of the pentagonal central disc is an aperture, and that aperture is called as a actinostome or mouth. It is a pentagonal aperture with 5 angles, each directed towards an arm. The mouth is surrounded by soft and delicate membrane, and that membrane is called as a peristomial membrane, or it is called as a peristome. Means this is the mouth and it is surrounded by the membrane, and that membrane is called as a peristomial membrane, or it is called as a peristome. And this mouth is guarded by the 5 groups of oral spines, or that we called it as a mouth papillae. Means this mouth papillae guards the what, that is the mouth. The next one is what? The ambulacral grooves. These are also present on the oral surface. These ambulacral grooves radiate from the 5 corners of the actinostome. This is the actinostome or the mouth, and from the 5 corners of the mouth it radiates, and that we called it as a what? It is called as a what? The ambulacral grooves. Then these ambulacral grooves, it radiates from the actinostome and extend one to each arm along its middle up to the what? The distal end. Means from the middle and it runs up to the what? That is the distal end. Then each groove is bordered by 2 rows of calcareous ambulacral spines, and their bases having the muscles, which can bring about the movement of spines overlapping the tube head to protect them from injury. The external to the ambulacral spine are 3 rows of large, stout, immovable spines. So The external two ambulacral spines, these are the what? Ambulacral grooves and the ambulacral spines. And these ambulacral and these two external to these are three rows of large, stout, immovable spines. These are the immovable spines which have the what? How many rows? That is the three rows of the immovable spines. The next one is what? The tube face. These tube feet are soft, extensive structure and this tubular process and these are arranged in four rows in each ambulacral grooves. From this, the what the ambulacral groove start and from about and on the side of this ambulacral groove, how many? That is a four rows of the tubular processes are there and this each tube feet is provided with terminal disc or sucker. You can observe this is a what the terminal disc or sucker that we called it as a ampulla and the sucker work as a suction cup to afford a firm attachment on the surface to which it is applied. If you observe the structure of the tube feet having the ampulla, podium and the sucker and these are multi-purpose organs as they help in locomotion, food capture, respiration and act as a sensory organ. These two feet are present on the what each side of the ambulacral grooves and they form the water vascular system in asteria. So these are the two feet. The next structure that is a what? Ambulacral spines. What are these ambulacral spines? These spines are present in a definite arrangements and each ambulacral groove is bordered and guarded laterally by two or three rows of movable calcareous ambulacral spines. These are the movable spines. This is the ambulacral grooves and these are two or three rows of the what? The movable spines. And outer to these there are the three rows of the what? Immovable spines are there. They can be brought together to form a lattice work over the tube feet retracted into the ambulacral groove. At each angle of this mouth, these spines become larger, stouter and grouped together and this forms a papillae. Outside the ambulacral spines or these movable spines, there are the three rows of similar spines along the borders of the arm. This is the one, then two, and the three. These are the three rows of the what? Similar spines demarcating the oral surface from the aboral surface and they are immovable type of the spines means so in the center that is a what ambulacral groove side or at the side of this ambulacral groove the two to three rows of the movable calcareous spines are there and outer to that there are three rows of the what immovable spines are present in the asterias on which side? On the oral side. The next one is sense organs. This sense organ includes five unpaired tentacles. These are the terminal tentacles. This is the arm or the section of the arm and at the end of the arm there is a terminal tentacle and these are the unpaired tentacles and that bears a pigment cup ocelli or eye spot. These are the ocelli or the eye spot or that we called it as a sensory tentacle and these the tip of each arm bears a small median non-retractile olfactory organs and at the base of each tentacle there is a what the small light sensitive bright red organ and that is called as a what eye and therefore it is made up of the what the several ocelli. So this is the what the sense organ that is a pigment cup ocelli or the eye spots and along with that it having the what that is a the olfactory organ or the sensory tentacle. So these are the what the sense organ in the sea star or the asterias which are present at the what oral surface. Then next, the organs which are present on aboral surface. On the aboral surface, the upper convex surface, it is called as a what? Aboral surface, or as it is opposite to the what? The mouth, it is also called as a abactinal surface. It bears a number of structures. First one is spines. The aboral surface is also covered with stout and blunt immovable calcareous spines of various sizes, but these are arranged in irregular rows parallel with long axes of rays. The spines are supported on irregularly shaped calcareous plates or ossicles buried in the integument. So on the what the on this is a what the aboral surface, and on this aboral surface also the spines are there, and these spines are present on the aboral surface. So this is also the aboral surface of the starfish or the asterias. Then the dermal branchiae between the ossicles are present the number of minute dermal pores or which are present on the skin, which can be clearly made out with the help of the lens. Through each dermal pore projects out a very small, delicate, finger-like or thread-like, thin-walled, membranous, retractile sac, and these are called as a dermal branchia, gill, or it is also called as a papula. So on these sides, that is on the which side, that is the on the aboral surface, there are the small openings. These are called as a dermal papula, or these are also called as a what? The gills. Then next one is anus. As the mouth is present on the oral surface, on the aboral surface, there is a anus. Anus is a very minute opening and may not be distinguished in some cases. It is situated very nearly, though not exactly in the center of the aboral surface, in an interradius called interradius BC. So, if you observe the word that is a anus, this is a anus, and this it is present at the word that is a interradius BC. That these are the what radii A B C D. That is a. This is a from where the metroporite is there. We are starting. This is a, then B, and this is a C. So this anus, it is in present between the what that is a interradii, that is a this is a B radii and this is a C radii. In between these two interradii BC, the anus is present. So here you can observe this is a what where the metroporite is there, and this is the interradii, that is a this is a then B and this C. In between these, that is the interradii, anus is there, and it is a small openings which is present on the what the which is present on the aboral surface. Then the madreporite. You can observe this is the madreporite which is present on the what? The aboral surface. Aboral surface is marked by the presence of asymmetrical flat, nearly circular, small but conspicuous button-like madreporite. This madreporite is a button-like and it is a sieve-like structure which is a porous having pores or small openings and grooved plate leading into the water vascular system. This madreporite, it opens into the what? The water vascular system. According to the carpenter, the interradius in which the madreporite is situated is called as a what? Interradius CD, and the two rays between which the madreporite is placed are termed as a bivium, and remaining three are called as a trivium. So this madreporite where this present, these two arms combinedly called as a bivium, and rest of these three arms, these are called as a what? The trivium. So These are the three arms. These are called as a trivium, and these two arms are called as a what? The what? The bivium. The next structure is the pedicellari, which are present on the aboral surface. The scattered all over the body are found many whitish modified spines like tiny pincers or jaws, and these are called as a pedicellari. And these are found in intervals between the spines of aboral surface. But on the oral surface, they are found attached to the bases of the spine and also in the spaces in between them. How are these pedicellari? These pedicellari are in the genus Asterias are stalked or pedunculate, means these are of the having the stalk. Each pedicellari has a short, flexible and fleshy stalk and it lacking the internal calcareous support. These are the what the pedicellari, and these the both the pedicellari having the stalk and at their base. That if you observe the pedicellari, these pedicellari has a short, flexible and fleshy stalk lacking internal calcareous support. The pedicellari itself consists of three calcareous ossicles. What are these? A basilar piece at the extremity of the stalk and the two jaws or walls, means it having the three ossicles, that is the one is the stalk that at the basal part, and these are the two walls or the jaws. Here is also the stalk and these are the two walls or the jaws, and therefore that if you observe the word structure of pedicellari, it having the three ossicles, a basilar piece at the extremity of the stalk, and the two jaws or walls, all of the usual fenestrated structure. It is covered with epidermis, which is richly supplied with sensory and gland cells. The jaw movably articulate with the basilar piece and can be opened or closed on the one another like the jaws of a bird by muscles. Such pedicellari, each consisting of three calcareous spicules, each calcareous pieces, these are called as a what? Forcipulate type of the pedicellari. Means which type of the pedicellari are there? In Asterias, that is the forcipulate type of the pedicellari. And how many ossicles are present in the pedicellari? That is the three ossicles. One is a basilar piece and the two are the jaws. Then we'll discuss the structure of pedicellari. The pedicellari in the Asterias are of the stalked or the pedunculate type. Each pedicellari has short, flexible and fleshy stalk, lacking internal calcareous support. The pedicellari consists of three ossicles. What are these? The basilar piece and the what that is the jaws are the walls. And how which is the type of the this pedicellari? This is a what? The forcipulate type of the pedicellari. You can observe this A and the B. There are the two types of the pedicellari or two kinds of the pedicellari in the C star or the Asterias. And what are these? The first one or A is a what? It is a forceps type or it is called as a straight type. And another B type is a what? Caesar or closed type of the pedicellari. If you observe the forceps type of the pedicellari, these both are the forcipulate as having the three ossicles. And in forceps, the two jaws are more or less straight and run parallelly and attach basally to the what that is a basal piece. When closed, they remain parallel and meet throughout their length like the forceps, and therefore these are called as a forceps or straight type. The two jaws are operated by the pairs of the muscles, and these what are these muscles? These are the adductor muscles to close them. Then the second type of the pedicellari is the Caesar type or cross type, or it is the cross type of the pedicellari. The basal ends of the jaws are curved and cross each other like the mandibles of the crossbill. so that basal piece is enclosed between the cross portion. This is a basal portion and it is remain present in between the cross portion. The jaws are also operated by three pairs of the muscle, and these crossed pedicellary, it functions like the what scissors, and therefore these are called as a scissor type of pedicellary, or it is also called as a cross type of the pedicellary. Then the functions of pedicellary. These pedicellary, these are present all over the body and they serve to protect the delicate skin gills and also get rid the surface of the body from the foreign objects. So this pedicellary helps for what? To get rid the surface of the body from the foreign object. A small animal creeping over the body surface is caught and held by the two jaws of the pedicellary and thus keeping the body surface free of any debris or germs which would interfere with the respiration of these asterias and other life activities. In some sea stars, the pedicellary are said to help in the capture of the small prey. Means this pedicellary helps in the capture of the small prey. It helps to protect the delicate skin from the what that is other animals or the foreign objects, and also it cleans the what that is what it cleans the papillae or the gills, which helps in the what that is the respiration. So these are the what the functions of pedicellary. This is all about the external features in asterias. Thank you.